Very pleased to see chapter 250 of Nanatsu no Taizai translated quite early, because I was getting a little bit, sad seeing, Taizai constantly being delayed in recent weeks, not just because of the holidays, obviously, but because whatever was going on with MS, and so I'm glad to see it kind of released back on a Tuesday. I missed the Monday release schedule, I'm not gonna lie, but at the very least, it is, releasing now in a more of a orderly fashion, at least on every Tuesday now. But anyways, though, this chapter, there is something that I need to talk about, and it's a very, very, very relevant thing for the anime as well, actually, and if you're anime only, obviously, don't watch this video. This is going to contain a lot of spoilers, and I don't want to spoil you, but, anyways, though, the reason why this topic I'm about to discuss is very relevant to the anime is because we're getting to see the exact opposite happen. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So, pretty much, Hendy seems to be getting brainwashed by the goddess clan, Rudisil. And the reason why I'm saying this is because his actions and what he's been doing in recent chapters, how he's been acting towards, Dreyfus and everyone else around him, Gil Thunder and all of that, just the way he's acting, he's not acting like he normally is. He's usually the calm and composed person. He's the guy that, usually is the thinker. He's the guy that doesn't show a lot of emotions like that, and the way he's been acting in the recent chapters, it's very, very strange. And it was very recently, actually, we got to see this explained that apparently, Merlin, she was blessed by, the Demon Clan to be immune or resist the Goddess Clan brainwashing. And this is a very interesting way to put it, because from everything we know, it looked like, the Demon Clan was always the one brainwashing people. I mean, let's think about Galther, let's think about, what, our favorite man that was inside of Dreyfus's body, Fraudrin. I mean, when you think about these things, it always seemed like the Demon Clan was the one that was, manipulating people and, mind controlling them. But that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case. For Merlin to go out of her way to ask for something like that, to be able to resist the Goddess Clan's brainwashing, it obviously is something very relevant. It's something the Goddess Clan loves to use consistently. And in this case, I do feel like Hendy is probably experiencing some form of Goddess Clan brainwashing. Now, many of you might be wondering, okay, so let's say he is getting brainwashed. Why isn't Dreyfus, brainwashed? Well, there's an obvious explanation for that. Let's think about the beginning. For instance, what led Hendy and Dreyfus to become the main central villains of the first arc of Taizai? Hendy tried to save Dreyfus, and thanks to Fraudrin being in Dreyfus's body, Hendy eventually had to succumb to Fraudrin inside of Dreyfus's body just to protect his friend. And so eventually he was brainwashed and mind controlled. Hendy had to willingly give up his sanity, his own mind, just to be able to save his friend. He did not actually just get taken over like it was nothing, like Dreyfus. Dreyfus, he got taken over. He was snatched by Fraudrin like it was nothing. And in this case, it always was shown that Hendy seemed to have, like, some form of resistance to that type of stuff. At the very least, Demon Clan manipulation. And now when you look at this, like this chapter, it seems like the opposite is starting to happen. Dreyfus, which was manipulated by the Demon Clan, seems to probably be somewhat resistant or immune to the Goddess Clan brainwashing. Since he was so connected with the demons for so long, maybe he built up some tolerance or resistance, and in this case, since Hendy was someone that was resistant to the Demon Clan type manipulation, maybe he's weak to the Goddess Clan brainwashing. So what I'm getting at here is like their roles have completely swapped. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like Hendy, which was once the guy that resisted the manipulation, is now the one being manipulated, and Dreyfus, the one that was being manipulated, is now the one resisting. And that's what it seems like to me, looking at the way this chapter is structured, because like I said, Hendy's just acting way too weird. The way he didn't even really care about Gil Thunder when the lightning bolt was coming down and all that, like the big firebolt, and you saw, it was called a Day of Wrath. That was the name of it. That was the name of the blast that Zelda used. It was called Day of Wrath. And, Hendy didn't even care about Gil Thunder. He was like, Lord Rudisil-sama, and I'm like, whoa, 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 Hendy. Okay, look, I mean, I know Hendy, he's connected to the Goddess Clan. We know this, yes, but still, even though he's connected, he shouldn't be acting like that. Like, we've seen so much about his character, and we've given characterization, like, Nakama Sensei's given him so much characterization, there's just no way he would normally act like that. So there's just something very weird about that needs to be noticed. I believe Hendy is being controlled. And Dreyfus is probably going to eventually get controlled as well, or he's going to snap Hendy out of it, one or the other. So anyways, moving on though, Zeldris, he's not really hurt at all, which, to be expected. He's very relevant, very important for this arc, so him being down for the count, I knew that wasn't going to happen, especially when he had some portion of the Demon King's power. But, anyways, Zeldris, he has a little bit of blood coming out of his mouth, but it's nothing too serious. It was more of like a, the fight begins. That's basically what's going on. The Demon Clan and the, Goddess Clan, the fight between them, the Holy War is finally beginning once again. It's finally been initiated. Now it's basically the opening of the curtain in that moment at the end of last chapter, and when, Zeldris realized what happened. That was a really cool scene. I like Zeldris, and seeing how this man got really angry, I'm very curious to see exactly if they're going to continue to brawl back and forth, because he did deliver a blow right back at Rudisill. He did, Day of Wrath and all of that, which was, you got to imagine, the distance, the range and all that of these attacks is pretty ridiculous, because Rudisill's pretty far away from where Zeldris and Merlin were talking at, and he shot a blast that far. And then now, very far off, Zeldris, he shot a blast straight at Rudisill, that far off as well. So, when you look at these things, these guys are using big, area of effect attacks, while being very far off from each other. I just can't even imagine how crazy their fight would be if they are side by side, going at each other. I'm looking forward to that in the future chapters of Taizai. So, anyways, moving on, though, let's talk about, how Merlin successfully managed to get out, escape, and all of that, and managed to actually get away with what she did to Zeldris. So, Merlin, it's nothing relatively important to the chapter, like, too big or whatever. It still impresses me how Merlin was able to manipulate Zeldris so easy. This man, Merlin just straight up told this man last chapter, I played the Goddess Clan and the Demon Clan, and he tries to, negotiate with her. And I'm just like, my dude, were you not listening to her throughout that chapter? She was basically saying you shouldn't trust her at all. And so, in that moment, when that attack from the Goddess Clan, Rudisill, came in, I was like, oh, Zeldris, you got played, man. My boy, you got played. You got played. The man should have saw that coming. And so, it's to be expected that the deal is not complete. Most likely what Merlin received, to free the Camelot citizens and stuff, that's probably not going to stay in effect at all, because at the end of the day, when they were trying to make a deal, that fell through, because Merlin obviously was aware, and Zeldris is going to pick up on that Merlin was aware and distracting him, and most likely he's going to probably come after Merlin very, very, very angry. We'll see where that's going to go, but, yeah, I feel like, Zeldris and, Merlin, there's definitely probably going to be a spat between them in the future. I see something like that coming very soon. Next thing to move into, let's talk about the, Elizabeth. Elizabeth wandering off from, Meliodas, and Chandler following the chase. So Chandler basically, now that Elizabeth's trying to get away from Meliodas and do her own thing to save him, for he doesn't become the Demon King and separate and all that, where he can't be in the world anymore, which explains a lot why the Demon King's in purgatory, and why the Goddess Clan and all that, the Supreme Goddess, is nowhere to be seen as well. It's because their powers are too great, they just can't be in the main world, which maybe that could be a big plot point for the future. Maybe they do want to be in the real world, who knows. But, getting back into it, though, basically, Elizabeth, she managed to escape, and Chandler's like, whoa, okay, so Meliodas ain't there, she's gotten away from his side, so I can do whatever I want. I can get rid of the goddess woman in any way I want now. And so he's chasing after Elizabeth, trying to put her down. He uses, these, flesh demons, or whatever they're called. He pulls a piece of his face or whatever, and you see, these, bubble, things pop up. It looks like gum or something, and he makes these, little ball, weird demon-looking things that resemble his face chase after Elizabeth. And I gotta admit, I gotta hand it to Nakaba-sensei for a second, that the design of those, when it came in and attacked Elizabeth, and it, slashed, the top of her forehead, I was like, whoa, whoa, Nakaba-sensei. That was a very crazy panel. I was just like, okay, is this the moment to where Elizabeth is going to go, night-night? Was that the scene? Was Nakaba-sensei going to do it there? But it didn't happen. So, yeah, it is being implied consistently now, with almost every chapter now, that Elizabeth, she is reaching the end. She's reaching the end of her 3 days, and judging by how this is going to go, something tells me that Elizabeth is probably not going to make it. She's probably going to die. And if that does happen, we know for a fact it ain't the end for her, because she does have the ability to reincarnate. Well, we know she has the curse to where she will always come back. And so, even if she forgets about Meliodas and everybody else, she's technically still alive. She will come back. So, she's not GG. She's not done. But it still would be sad nonetheless. So, I feel like Nakaba-sensei is prepping us up for that. Like, something like that is probably going to happen. And something tells me, if she does, it's going to be something so sad. Something that could have been avoided, that it was just depressing. Like, I feel like Meliodas is going to be responsible. Or something is telling me if she does, in fact, end up, going night-night, it's probably going to be Meliodas that is responsible. Something like that tells me that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know, just something is telling me. I'm getting that feeling in my gut and all that's where Nakaba-sensei is trying to take it. But getting back into the Elizabeth escaping, though, we also move over into the Seven Deadly Sins. They're trying to, actually help out the citizens that were freed and all that from the commandment. They're trying to round them up, try to find Arthur as well, because, that's who Merlin is looking for. And I just want to take a brief moment to mention the comedy in that moment when all, the sins are saying, like, stop running and all that. And you see Diane, she just pops around the corner. She's like, I want to golly all of you up. I'm like, I couldn't help laughing, because what made that moment for me was the fact that Escanor, he freaked out. Like, I don't know how many of you noticed that, but if you go to the bottom left of that panel, okay, when, Diane's on, panel, and she's like, I want to gobble all of you up if you guys don't stop, you'll see Escanor freak out. He's like, freaking out and all that, and then Hawk's like, why are you getting scared? That was just a very funny moment to me. I know for a fact not everybody's going to probably find that funny, but personally to me, I just couldn't stop laughing because of how funny it was. But that's about it. That's basically about it. Elizabeth's going her own way to save Meliodas. Meliodas is doing whatever he can to save Elizabeth. We have Chandler on the chase. We have, the Goddess Clan and the Demon Clan going at each other. I mean, there's just a lot of things going on. It's looking like it's going to be a very interesting arc. A lot of setup. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. For some reason, if you click the subscribe button and you don't have the bell activated, for some reason, you just don't get notified anymore. That's just how YouTube is. So if you do want to get notified for when I upload new content, click the bell icon. Now, if for some reason you don't care about, getting notified for my content, at the very least, do it for other YouTubers that you do like to watch. It will help them out a lot, and that's the least I can do just to spread the word about the bell icon. So, I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Stay warm. Chibi out.